Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here, back again with Haikyuu. We are on episode 13 of season 4, and that means that this is the last episode before the break. Obviously, it's been on a break for a while, seeing as I've been hitty-missy with uploading season 4 episodes of Haikyuu. It's just been getting backed up because of being busy and everything like that. But yeah, so it's on a break. So after this episode, the next episode and onward will be released from July sometime. I think, I'm just going to say mid-July because, well, it's the safest bet, isn't it, to just say mid-July. I'm sure it's not June, though. I think I said June, back at, episode 6 or something. I think someone corrected me and said, no, it's July. So, yeah, June was too soon, I suppose. So, yeah, July, sometime around then, once it picks up again, hopefully I can just get it out week by week when it's airing, so you don't have to wait and everything like that. But yeah, so episode 12 was obviously Karasuno are not in a match. I don't think they're going to be in a match at the beginning of this episode. Well, I don't know, they may be. It may be a pre-match before their next one, and then obviously the match will start up immediately once episode 14 is released in July. But yeah, so it turns out that Hoshiyumi is actually here, which is something I was wondering about from some past episodes. And it turns out he can actually jump higher than Hinata. He's part of a team, the team called Kamo Medai. Don't know how you pronounce that, but yeah, I mean, we basically saw Hoshiyumi in action in a competitive environment. That he's basically a one-man army. That's what they called him, and that he does everything for the team. So he's basically obviously the best fucking server, the best blocker on the team, the best server, and he could do them all. And I mean, I don't think we've seen another character be so fucking as good as many different things as what he is. He's just the ultimate, one-man army, isn't he? But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Obviously, well, Nekama, they got through. Saw a tiny bit of their match, also a tiny bit of Fukuro Dani's as well, and they ended up getting through. So yeah, that's the two teams that we know of that end up going through. I'm assuming that Kamo Medai will get through. I mean, they were already one up when we last saw, and they'll get through. And yeah, Tanaka is looking like he's in with Kanoka as well. So we'll see where that goes. I mean, I talked about it a little bit in the last episode post discussion. I just feel like it's going to be a thing where, in anime like this, the relationships don't happen. So it's going to be a thing of Tanaka's not going to chase it. It's going to be no, I have to focus on the volleyball and the boys. So I guarantee that's what's going to happen. But anyway, yeah, 40 teams have already gone. I talked about that in depth in the last episode. So if you want to hear me rant about it, then you can do. I wasn't really ranting. I was just trying to figure out how it actually worked, because there's 47 schools, right? But 40 teams have gone. So I was like, right, well, it must be obviously a mixture of the boys and girls, and there must be the vast majority of schools must have their boys and their girls team actually competing. So yeah, I don't think that's really talked about though. So yeah, we're gonna get in episode 30 and see what we get. If you want to see the full length, the link will be in the description. But yeah, the actual 10-minute version will just be here anyway, so enjoy it anyway. But yeah, nothing else to talk about, so we're gonna get in episode 13 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go.
Hey, あれがリュウちゃんなんだ。失礼を承知で聞くけど、どこがいいの？こんな巨人。立ち止まんなよ。人間が通れないだろ。
Oh, she was getting bullied for her height. And then Tanaka came at the rescue. Oh my god. Although I guess he was keeping the peace, wasn't he?
今日俺がいいとこに連れてってやる。
龍之介、その挨拶やめろって言ってんだろ。
She got introduced to volleyball through Tanaka then.
自信が持てるようになったっていうか。へえ。
田中、しっかりしろ。お前はとっくに生きている。縁の下のせいだぞ。はいはい。
You see how shocked he is, right? It's going to be annoying when Tanaka inevitably doesn't do anything with it. And he just says, nah, I'm alright because I need to focus on fucking volleyball.
今日は本当にお疲れ様でした。すでに意識は明日に向いているとは思いますが、
相手は今年のインターハイ準優勝チーム。
Inarizaki, yeah, it is.
兵庫県代表の
Oh,
稲荷
fuck.
崎高校優勝候補ってやつだ。
They're the favorites?
まずポイントゲッターは4番のオジロアラン。
Fucking-
全国3本指に最も近い。
Oh, he's like number 4.
調子さえ良ければそれも超える可能性がある。
Jesus.
そ
Atamu's.
れとミドルブロッカー10番砂凛太郎。身長はミドルブロッカーにしたら低い方だけどセンスの塊って感じのやつ。
Sure.
やはり厄介なのは主砲2人を含め全スパイカーを絶妙に使い分けるセッター宮敦夢。
Yeah.
影山はユース合宿であったな。
はい、確かにすげえ打ちやすいっす。
Yeah.
ブレない、乱れない。ミヤさんは少し前からスパイクサーブとジャンプフローターの二刀流です。どっちで来るかギリギリまで分かんないってことか。
さっき勝ったばかりなのにもう皆さんの顔が怖い。
Yeah.
全国の1番と2番両方とやれるってことか。
Oh, he's so confident. He's just like, no, get to play him both.
でも内山に勝ったやついたらそこが1番じゃん。
Oh, that's gonna be a tense game then.
あれやってもいいぞ。いよいよ最後の大会だな。的なやつ。
It's like Daichi's the only one that actually wants to say that now.
大地に余裕がねえと逆にこっちは余裕ができる不思議。
Yeah, Daichi's the one that's like
うるせえ。
being like nervous about the whole thing. I love that Yamaguchi's like become like real pals with Hinata. Doesn't it feel that way? Like they're always together now.
電気元気組もさすがに電池切れか。
あーなんだくそ緊張してんのか。
リュウちゃん
Of course, of course that was.
おおなんだ彼
The
女
situation was perfect.
脈ありってやつだな。
Oh God, now he's nervous about this. I guess it takes his mind off it, I
今日
suppose.
もやっぱり寒いね。
おお
サイコちゃん元気？
おお前んとこ
みんな元気。リュウちゃん、あのね、私ね。
Fucking hell, man.
すまん俺には心に決めた人がいる。
なんだよ、このか。中で待ってろよ。寒いだろ。
But it does?
年上のシティボーイ。
Oh God.
俺、もしや完全に
勘違った。
God.
また母さんの手作りだけど。
お兄ちゃん、私今失礼したかも。
Bless.
ごめん、なんでもない。ここに恋愛しに来たわけじゃない。私全部勝つから。
I was hoping they would go the relationship route, but they never do they? There's no point shipping anything because nothing ever comes of nothing. They just talk normally and get and blush.
サーブ多めでお願いしたいです。
セッターの宮敦夢が超すげえやつなら。
It's a good idea.
今最初に見たのはこの前の代表決定戦の録画だが、その時オポジットのやつが万全じゃなくて出てなかったらしいんだ。今回はその本来のオポが出てくる可能性が高い。
たとえ宮敦夢を崩しても双子の修が保管する。
Oh, for
高校
fuck's
バレー
sake.
界最強ツインズ。
Exactly the same, except one's got fucking blonde hair. For fuck's sake. Every turn, this fucking team just gets better.
ズバリ今大会の
マチの穴じゃない？
もちろん。
インタビューこっちにも来たらどうしよう。どうする？
競合に密着でしょ。心配しなくてもこっちには来ない。
山口、ピースしに行こう。
やめろ。
俺まで怒られた。
自分で自覚している以上にハイスペックなのよ。顔もボディも。リュウちゃんに彼女がいるわけじゃないんでしょ。じゃあ押せ。押せば落とせる。でもサーブが全然入らない。どうすればできるの？できるまでやればできる。
Just keep pushing. Is that a thing? It's like it's a server. That's not a big thing.
そうだね。多分私の思ってる感じと違うけど、まあいいや。
昨日は急に変なこと言ってすまんかった。忘れてくれ。
こっちこそ兄ちゃんが急にごめん。
お前兄貴いたっけ？
こっちに住んでるいとこなの。
ってことは勘違いが勘違いで。
Yeah, it was a misunderstanding of a misunderstanding.
リュウちゃんのおかげで猫背が治ったよ。私上手くなったから見ててね。
I wanna see it.
カノカは上手くなった。
Shit,
置いてきぼり
rising
食ら
star.
ってんのは俺の方。
Which is good. Wonder who's the favourites for the girls to win.
ひなたボケ
Pay attention. You
早く
fucking
ジャンプしたい。
気合入っとんな。
チュアス。
飛びよくん元気しとった？頑張ってな。俺下手くそと試合すんのほんま嫌いやね。
それはすみません。俺は下手くそじゃないです。
知っとる知っとる。
あいつは下手くそですけど。
なんてこと言う。
弱くはないので大丈夫だと思います。
He sucks, but he's not weak.
おお。セカンドユニフォームになってもやはり野安さんの主役か。だろ。
Oh, they're swapping it round? We've never seen this before.
相手も黒だから。
Yeah, that's why.
緊張よりワクワクが勝ってるって感じ。
成長していやがる。会場の誰も俺たちなんか眼中にない。
Good. That's what you want. So you can be the, like,
燃える。
you be like the dark horse, and they can,
大
like,
地がやっと復活した。
look weird. Alright, so Inarizaki's got a fucking, like, a straight up, like, they've got a fucking full-on orchestra going on. Marching band, there you go. Always the powerhouse school, isn't it? Look at the god hear him. Oh, that's great. That's funny. Oh, that's... They can just alternate between...
ほんまよ、飛ぶな。
Oh, this is gonna be a great match, man. It's gonna be a tense fight, this one.
カラスノが白鳥沢に勝つなんて思わなかった。
Yeah.
またみんなをびっくりさせましょう。
They will, they must do. They're gonna have to. In before the first point. Did you just stop the marching band?
あらら。
Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. And that went right between Nishinoya as
俺
well.
のサーブの邪魔すんな。
Oh, fuck.
このやかましぶた。
Out. Alright.
サーブとスチッと流れたな。
朝日一本集中。
Oh, the boo it. Oh, they're gonna have to deal with that now?
ブーイ
Fucking.
ングですか？
チームのサーバーには静寂と集中を、相手には喧騒と動揺を。ほんと訓練されてるな。
Bastards. What a bunch of cocks.
あとネットにかかってしまった今回の試合の注目はやはり高校ナンバーワンセッターの呼び声高い稲荷崎の宮敦でしょうか。
そうですね。それと今回はカラスノのセッターにも注目したいですね。
カラスノ高校亀山飛びを
Woohoo! Nice! He went fucking high on that one.
いい感じに飛べた。
And that's all he did. Wait, you're gonna fucking hit it! Oh, God!
同時にやれねえならやるなボケ。
角忘れた。
Hoshiyumi just got to him. Like,
言いましたね。こいつ今までのジャンプがマックスやなかったんか。
we're all watching this
飛び
one.
よくんも我が道行くタイプやと思ったけど。こっちも大概やな。
Yeah. Alright. Okay, episode 13 and the midway point. So, yeah, so I was right then. Yeah, so it was Inarizaki that was going to be our next match. I'm surprised we even got some fucking, like, actual gameplay for the fucking... I wasn't expecting to actually start the match, like, in this episode. I was expecting it to be, like, all the way up until, like, the point of, like, before the first serve, and then it would go, but, yeah, so... Inarizaki, they're dangerous. That is a dangerous team right there. Like, I just felt like everything that they were saying was, like, one on top of the next. Like, it just kept coming, like, of how dangerous they are. Like, they would just add something more. It would be like, you know, oh, yeah, not only do they have number 4 in the spikers in the country, they have, you know, a middle blocker who is also short and is extremely dangerous. Then they have Mia Atsumu. So, that, yeah, I'll just add that one to the fucking list. But, yeah, not only that, he has a twin brother who I don't think is just as good, but he's, like, just under him. Like, fucking hell. This team's dangerous, man. This would be an interesting team to see go up against Shiratorizawa, I would say. I think it would be very interesting just to see how they would do. I feel like they could almost they could be almost more dangerous than Shiratorizawa, you know. But I feel like we have to beat this team. I feel like we just have to. We can't, right? We can't. Just think of it, right? The match is starting now in episode 13, right? It's probably going to end what? Like maybe I don't know, maybe episode 17 at the latest, I would say. I don't think it would probably go any further than that, because I mean, here's the thing. I don't. To me, I just don't see. It depends on how long they really want to go with this, I suppose. But I just like of the story. But I don't see them winning the whole thing, right? So they can only go up to a certain point, and I don't know if they're going to go the whole. Because obviously this season's going to have to end, right? And it would be, I imagine, episode 25 again. And then that would just, you know, that would be the end of this tournament, right? But the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I can't imagine this show without the third years in it, you know? So it just makes me think that they just could be doing the story up until, you know, like, I don't know, maybe they're doing this, and that's it, that's where they stop it. But I'm pretty sure, like, the manga is still ongoing, right? And I haven't heard anything about it, like, being finished. I don't know where the manga is actually up to. I feel like it would... I don't know. I don't know if it's past this. I don't know. But yeah, I just feel like we can't lose against these. Like, it just wouldn't feel right, you know? I just don't see it happening. I just really don't see it happening. Like, how can you even... There's no way. Not at this point, right? When the match has just started this episode, you can't have it go on for, like, you know, 11 episodes. This one match against this one team, and then that's at the end. So, yeah, we're definitely getting past them. Like I said, the only time that I feel like... It's... Thing is, I've said this before, but I've also caught myself out on it, where I'm like, the show kind of can, or the story can kind of shoot itself in the foot because they've already set up things beforehand where it's like, well, you know, the whole point of this is to go against Nekama, right? Which means that any team that they come up before Nekama in this tournament, they're gonna beat, you know, that like Karasuno's gonna beat every team up until they get up to Nekoma. Nekoma's going to be the most interesting one, because it's going to be the one that is like the decider, and like it could go anywhere, you know. I mean, I would give the edge to Karasuno because Nekoma have beaten them more times. So to have Karasuno actually do beat them, you know, would be a thing. I think they said that they've only faced each other once in competition though, and Nekoma won it, which means that having Karasuno win it would mean that it would even it up, and you have them on a level playing field of the, you know, the rivals and everything, and it makes sense. But so I would give the edge to them, but I still feel like it'll be just one of those. It'll be a match that could go any way, you know. Whereas, you know, in Inarizaki, it's like I'm going into this just thinking like we're not losing this, you know what I mean? And I shot myself in the foot with the Shiratorizawa thing because I second guessed everything. Like on one hand, it was like, well, they've got to go to the spring tournament because this is their last chance as a group with the third years to go up against Nekoma, right? In actual competitive match. So on that hand, I was like, well, you know, there's that. But then I weighed it up at the other side, and it was like, well, we've bigged up Shiratorizawa to be this fucking hell of a powerhouse school, and at that point, it was just like, how do you go into there after bigging them up so much and having Karasuno win it? You know, like, how do you do it without feeling like Shiratorizawa have, you know, they're a bit like, it was a bit underwhelming. But, you know, they did it well and I was fine with it. And here's the thing, like, if I guess they can always, like, they can put it down to the wire. I mean, the thing about, you know, a lot of stories is that you'll find that something that can be, that is meant, like, some things that are just forced just because of the way that they're written to be predictable, like this, you can get tense out. You can get tension out of it by obviously making it go to the very end. You know what I mean? It was, they've done it before. They did it with Aoba Josai, and they did it with Shiratorizawa, where it always comes down to the last fucking point. Like, you know, whoever gets the last point wins the whole fucking thing. They've done that before, so they can do it again. And I guess they probably will. I'm guessing this will come down to the last point again, because at the end of the day, they are the, you know, the second favourites to win, behind Tachiyama. So, you know, I mean, the subtitle said favourites to win, but I don't think they are favourites. I think they're favourites to get to the final. I think the idea is, depending on going up against Tachiyama, if that depends on if Tachiyama's on the other side, because they would have to be on the other side of the bracket in order for the final to be Tachiyama versus, you know, Inarizaki. So, yeah, but yeah, we'll have to win it. It'll go down to the wire though, with them being favourites. The way I see it going is that they don't get to the final, Karasuno, but they, you know, they make a go of it. I don't have the significant brain power right now to go into where I think they are in the bracket right now. Obviously, like, they're in round 2, you know, but I don't know how many teams specifically are left to obviously determine where we are in the brackets and how many matches would be left from now until the final. You know, that's the thing that annoys us, you know what I mean, is that, like, they can't, like, the show is clearly doing it on purpose, not showing the brackets, because they want everything to be a surprise, I suppose. That's the only reason why I can think they would not be clearly telling the audience or showing the audience, like, what is the brackets all about, because that's the thing, like, the only way that Nekoma would even have to be a fucking match is if they're in the same bracket, like, if they're in the same side. Because otherwise, that means that they would have to have them in the final, and fucking hell, I mean, that would be a dream. But I mean, that's all it's going to be, is a dream, isn't it? I don't see a world in which it's Karasuno versus Nekoma in the final. Like, it's just I don't see it. I just don't see it happening. I mean, Nekoma was struggling. You know what I mean? Like, they came in. The only reason they're there in this tournament is because they were the host prefecture, so they got a third team that could come in. That's the only reason why they got through, because Fukurodani were ahead of them. So, you know, that like I just don't say it. Like, even if it's a case of like, because yeah, I mean, it just, you know, they can have a bad day. I'm pretty sure that's what it was in the OVA, wasn't it? They were just having a bad day, and it was like, you know, but they managed to get through. So yeah, I mean, it's a thing though of like the characters would surely be looking at it, you know, like they would have said something along the lines of like, oh, like where are they in the brackets? Like where do they line up? Because then it's like, right, well, these are the teams that, you know, the list of teams that we could come up against that we have to beat in order to get to Nekama. But you know, they just haven't said that yet. So, you know, I mean, I don't know. Depending on the brackets and how many teams are left or whatever, like I think there's only 2 more teams. I feel like, for the sake of like an interesting match that would be left after Inarizaki, would be Kamo Meidai, which is obviously Hoshiyumi, and then Nekama. And that's the thing, it's like with Kamo Meidai, I don't know if it would be. Well, I mean, I said it would be an interesting one, and the only reason why is because it's more of a battle of Hinata versus Hoshiyumi as opposed to, you know, Karasuno versus Kamo Meidai, you know. I could be putting like Kamo Meidai down way too much there, and like actually like in an insulting way, because obviously I don't know anything about their other team members other than Hoshiyumi, but what I've heard is Hoshiyumi's the one-man army, so I, like, you know, I've heard them before, like when they were at the Japan youth fucking training camp thing, whatever it was, the national youth training camp thing, that Hoshiyumi was just part of that team that was the only one that was like that good. So, you know, I don't know if it would be an interesting match really, like team for team, but mostly just for the Hinata and Hoshiyumi similarity thing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Kamo Meidai match will happen with this. But you know, like I mean, because yeah, I mean, obviously Fukurodani would obviously be another good one, but I just don't know. I mean, it just seems like it would be too convenient that we would be going up against all these teams that we know, you know, as opposed to just other ones. Yeah, we'll see. So yeah, Ojiro, the number 4 spiker. Interesting enough as well, Coach Ukai said that on his day he can surpass that and actually get into the top 3. So that would assume that, like, if he's on form and he's like playing at his peak, he's actually top 3 level. So that's dangerous, depending on if it's his day or not, you know. But that's the thing, is like Karasuno have beaten Shiratorizawa, but remember that was more of a, again, it was like it was the way it was set up was almost like another one-man army, even though we knew, like, obviously the Shiratorizawa, the whole season was the Shiratorizawa match, so we know that it's not just Ushijima that was incredible. Like, obviously he was the best of the best on their team, and he's the one that can carry them to so many victories and everything like that. But the other team members were very good also. But with Inarizaki, it just seems like they're propping it up so that it's not like all about. It's not all about Atsumu, you know. That's the thing. It's like, yeah, they've placed him up as like he's like the key one, but having, you know, practically a top 3 spiker in there on his day, and then having that twin brother as well, so they can just fucking alternate between setting up. Having the option to have 2 setters on the field is great. I've said before that I love it when Suga comes on and you have Suga and Kageyama like on the court together. Like, I love it when that happens, because the it allows for an interesting dynamic where the opposition doesn't know what you're going to do. Like, are we going to get a toss from Kageyama or not? It makes it so that the opposition struggle to determine whether or not one move's going to be. You know what I mean? Because it doubles everything. Like, you know, all of a sudden a set can come from Suga or Kageyama, and depending on who it goes to, they have different ways of doing things. It determines the style and approach of play. It can just really, like, you know, fuck up the opposition's mindset and, like, what are they doing, what's going on. So, and it seems as though, you know, they're gonna have the whole match, which is fucked, you know, because it seems as though Atsumu can do, like, you know, obviously he can spike and everything as well, so he can just alternate, and that's that. You know, it's gonna be, I think they're going to highlight in this match the twin brother and what he's capable of, or what he's more importantly what he's not capable of that Atsumu actually is, because I feel like Atsumu is the better brother, like talent wise, you know, ability wise, but you know, like what, because I don't know, it'll be an interesting thing, I think. Because obviously the twin brother's, like, really fucking good as well. But it's going to be interesting to see how they work with that. If they do a whole thing where Karasuno are looking to, like, use that as an, like, you know, like, try and take advantage of that almost, and try and stop the whole alternating thing that the twin brothers can do by finding out what the twin brother is not as good at as Atsumu is. Because I feel like Atsumu is the better, like, the better one ability wise. They can possibly do, like, he can do sets and he can do spikes, but can the twin brother spike? I don't know. The thing is that Atsumu is a setter, at, like, first and foremost, right? So I don't know. This is going to be an interesting one, you know, because I feel like I feel like Inarizaki is a attacking team, but they're well rounded. But I feel like this is going to be like it sounds stupid to say a points heavy game, but I feel like points from a attacking side as opposed to, like, points from blocking, you know, like blocking it and stopping them from hitting. I don't know. Inarizaki's attacking side seems more prevalent than their defensive. The only defensive that they said was Rintaro, right? And he's the middle blocker and he's the shorter one. But that's the one guy, right? That's one dude. You know, we've had names pointed out on the Inarizaki team. The other ones that haven't been named, I don't know how good they are. Are they just red shirts that we're not going to get? You know, because they like to do this thing, obviously, where it's specifically like one blocker that you need to watch out for, or whatever, or one receiver, or whatever. But then, like, there'll be like a moment in the game where it's just like, well, but the other blockers are just as good as well. Like, you know, so I don't know. It could be a thing of, like, the interesting thing is what they haven't mentioned about Inarizaki is their receiving game. You know, their defensive game is all about, from what we've been told anyway, is Rintaro. He's a middle blocker. He's able to block very well. We didn't hear any mention of anything receiving wise, or if they're good at that at all. So I you know, I don't know. The thing is that they're a powerhouse school and that they're favourites and that they came second in the inter high overall. So I mean, it's not like they're going to be pushovers, is it? That's the thing. They're not going to be pushovers at all. But I mean, I guess that's just the thing. Like, you've got to figure out what the opposition's weaknesses is, so that you can exploit them, right? and I mean, he has a thing about fucking Inarizaki. I hate the fact, and I hate the fact that my name is in this team, and I am associated with a team that the fan base are fucking bastards. I hate it. I fucking hate it. Because here's the thing, right? My sport, my home country sport is football, right? Or soccer. And I'm from a city. Well, I'm not. I'm just outside of it. But you know, my team is Newcastle United, right? Now, if you're not all that knowledgeable about football, you know, we're in the Premier League, which is the very pinnacle, the top league in English football, right? It's considered to be considered, it is factually like the biggest league in the world, right? And we are in that league, and the only other team that really is up there with like a fan base that is considered like, you know what I mean, like as passionate and as loud as ours is Liverpool. You know, but Newcastle is up there in terms of support like you would not believe, because we're part of that in the country anyway that is working class, which means that generally we work all week. And you know, I mean, I'm not putting myself in this conversation because I get to do this and everything, but you know, generally for working class people, the jobs that they have to do are very like, you know, stressful, and there's a lot of fucking, you know what I mean, basically all they want to do is get the work week out of the way so they can get to the weekend and watch the football, and they live for football essentially. So it's a big fucking deal, and if Newcastle loses, it kind of affects the whole town and everyone's mood's down. But if we win, we're fucking partying all night, alright? So it's this thing where we have a really passionate fan base, and I'm proud of the fact that we have that, and that's like synonymous with us as a you know, not just as a football club, but as a people anyway in general. And now we have Inarizaki. It's got my fucking name in there, Zach, right? And the fucking bloody fans are bastards. Now, when I sort of talk about like a passionate fan base, right, I mean like a fan base that is obviously on side of our team. And you know, don't worry, I get the whole thing of like a fan, like, you know, fans and everything. They're like, you know, an extra member of the team because they affect the morale inside the stadium or the arena, whatever it is, and it gets to the opposition a lot. That's why, you know, in football specifically anyway, we an arena, a home stadium where obviously you play your home games, you can refer to them as a fortress, like somewhere that is hard for the opposition to go, like to come and actually get anything from the game, like, because like the fans are just that like on top of them like all of the time. But the thing is that these lot, the Inarizaki fan base, right, booing, that's where I have a problem, right? Now, it's a thing that booing happens in football, but it's associated with generally like something that is connected to what happened during the game. If a player like puts in a disgusting like hardcore tackle on one of our own, and it could be a leg breaker or something like that, or if he's like getting on the crowd's like back or whatever, like one of the opposition's team's members or whatever is just like giving the crowd shit, then the crowd will give it back to him. Although there'll be a reason why they boo him. Not at the very start of the fucking game, like, you know, in this it's immediately why booing the guy? That's such a like, it's such a dick move, like to boo the guy. I mean, at least like, you know, cheer anything like that, right? I mean, they said, yeah, like in the subtitles that, you know, they're quiet for whenever Inarizaki are serving, but you know, as soon as it comes to their serve, like, make noise, yeah, don't boo the guy. Like, fucking hell, like, it's so dickish, man. Like, I can't get over it. God. Because that's the thing. Like, I like fans and everything like that are such a massive fucking part of sport in general, not just football. But I'm aware of like the whole fan, like the fan thing. Being a fan like myself of a lot of sports, but you don't boo the other side when they have the ball when they haven't done fuck all. So the fact that they do it, fuck them. I hate that fucking fan base, so they can go get fucked. Anyway, that doesn't mean I hate the team, by the way. You know what I mean? So I mean, we'll see. I mean, Atsumu's got this like. He's got this arrogance about him that isn't as likable as Oikawa's was. Put it that way. Oikawa was like, he's very playful with his kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But when he gets serious, he has to get serious. I just feel like Atsumu's like a bit too arrogant, you know? So we'll see what happens with that. I like the way like how he interacts with Kageyama, but I feel like he's only doing that because he sees that Kageyama's a fucking like a great player as well. Like, I feel like it only comes down to the fact that he's willing to be that way with people who he would consider to be his level or around his level. But as soon as if it came to somebody who isn't as good, I don't think he would give them the time of day, or he may like look down on them and like talk shit, like you know, maybe like talk shit about them. But you know, that's what I get from it. But it remains to be seen. You know what I mean? I don't think I've had a. It all comes out of this match, obviously. We'll see what happens in the future episodes, but yeah. So, and yeah, they're recognizing Hinata as a threat there as well. But I love that it came out of a move that Hinata didn't even fit. He just fucked up on. Like Hoshimi clearly got to Hinata's head about the whole thing of jumping and everything like that. Like he was so fucking anxious to jump that when he jumped and he actually got some height and it was a good jump, failed to fucking hit the ball. So that's great. That's fantastic. So yeah, I mean, not only did he fuck up by not hitting the ball, but he kind of fucked up by not surprising them as much. Because now they're kind of on edge about him. Like, not really on edge, but they know about him now, so they're not going to be as unsuspecting of him anymore. So yeah, I mean, he fucked up in both regards there, but yeah. What else? Yeah, talk about Hinata and Yamaguchi being like real good buds now. Like I don't know when that happened. I feel like there was I think it was just when they got to this, like when they got to Tokyo, and like I feel like it was when Yamaguchi lost the bag. Like, you know, they wasn't keeping an eye on like Hinata's bag and got like swapped around, right? I feel like before then they were never that close, and now every time I see them, they're together. When did that happen? I don't know. I feel like I missed it. I missed something there. But anyway, yeah. And yeah, I mean the last thing was the Tanaka situation. I mean, I want them to go somewhere with it, but I just don't see it happening. I talked a bit about last episode about how, like, you know, like in shows like these, they just don't go the relationship route. It's just they talk a bit while being, like, you know, apprehensive, and then they blush, and then it's like, well, I've got to focus on this, and then nothing goes anywhere. I would just like for once for there to be a legitimate fucking relationship that happens, you know? Yeah, damn it. Fucking always the bloody case. Like everything that I've reacted to, there's never one, is there? Jesus. Like Code Geass, Lelouch never gets, like, you know, in a relationship because he's got to focus on doing his thing. Fate, there was never fucking one in that either. It was just like, yeah. I mean, My Hero Academia is not going to get one. I can tell you that now. Like, there's not going to be one there. Like, even the whole thing with like Deku and Ochako, that's it's not going to happen. I would love for there to be like just one where it's just like, it would be interesting having Tanaka like actually have a girlfriend. Just have that be a thing. Like, because then you can have like that interesting sort of dynamic where he stops going after Shimizu now, and now it's just Nishinoya doing it himself, and he like Nishinoya feels like he's like maybe like lost a bit of a companion in that regard, and he can just have like, because at the end of the day, like I've said before about this show, is that the strong thing about this show is the characters and their interactions, because the story isn't all of that. Like the story isn't as packed, or the plot or whatever, because it's about sport and two teams going up against each other, and that's basically the meat of it. The best thing about the show is the character interactions and stuff. So if you can have like the difference in character interactions and everything that can make it different, have Tanaka be in a relationship, and that just infinitely changes the dynamic between characters. Have it happen. Just do it. Why? Well, I don't know why they're so scared of just having a relationship in these kind of shows. I don't know why I'm getting so up a height about it. Like, it doesn't really matter that much, really, but I just like it to happen, because I feel like it's. I guess why I'm so like up a height and a bit like irritated by it is because it always feels like it's not real, you know. Like, you're having these school kids like have, not everyone, right, obviously, you know, but like it's normally like a time where like you have a lot of relationships, you know, like, and whatnot, and I just feel like it would be more realistic, I think, to have them fucking have a girlfriend, you know, like have that happen, because it's quite clear that Kanoka wants it to happen. And Tanaka was so dumbfounded about the whole thing, where he's been like rejected so many times. He's like, I never thought this would happen. It's quite clear he's elated about the whole thing. And so for this to like, for him to not chase that in whatever way, I just feel like it's like unrealistic. And I feel like that it's just a case just so that, you know, so that they don't have to write about that kind of stuff. I don't know. Who knows? I don't even know. It might happen, and it might shock me. I might be like, fucking hell, I wasn't expecting that to happen, and it actually did. You know? But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But anyway, yeah, that's all I've got for this episode. So thank you everyone for watching. Of course, you know, like I said, it's on a break, so it'll be back in July. So yeah, look forward to that. But that is all I've got. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I've linked to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get stuff over there if you wish. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards there, like early access for $5 a month, gives you access to shows a week early, and you can get caught up with Hunter x Hunter as well, because every single reaction of Hunter x Hunter is up there. So if you don't want to wait for them to come out every Monday, just become an access to our Patreon. There's also full length there for $10 if you want to see any of these shows in full and not just the 10-minute version. Then you can do there. And there's other tiers where you can pay to have a show reacted to as well. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.